Welcome to Amsterdam. Now, we were super excited to visit Amsterdam as one of the highlights of our trip until we actually got there. And we'll fill you in on why and what happened and what's going on here. Hey, look, offshore windmills. Actually, these are onshore, illegal in the state of Florida. If you get up early enough, you'll see the locks because they built most of this city under sea level, which was a genius thing not to do, so don't do that. But they have to put your cruise ship through locks, and cruise ships may actually be illegal in Amsterdam soon, and more on that later. Don't forget your lederhosen, not necessary, but always fun. Now, I thought we had to take a taxi from the terminal because the signage in Amsterdam pretty much sucks, especially in English. There's nobody telling you where to go, but you can actually walk from the cruise terminal up to the train station, and through the train station it'll bring you into the center of Amsterdam where all the historical and shopping and restaurants are. Oh, don't miss the Dunkin' Donuts in Amsterdam. It's actually most of Europe. They had the most colorful displays and the most delicious donuts that we've ever had at a Dunkin' Donuts. There's no high fructose corn syrup up there. This is what everybody thinks of when you see pictures, when you talk about Amsterdam. But this is what it really looks like. The waters and canals are really, really murky. There's bicycles tied up everywhere. People throw bicycles in the canal. There's trash all over the sidewalk. I mean, this is the red light district. So in all fairness, this is kind of the seedier part of the city. But this is where all the tourists go. And yeah, it wasn't very tourist friendly. To be honest, they're trying to get rid of tourists. We talked to some locals. They're saying that the foreign influence is too heavy there, and they want to bring their city back to themselves. They want to own their city again. So they're trying to move the red light district out to a suburb somewhere and having some luck doing that. We were there during the day, so there wasn't much going on. This is kind of what was left over from the night before, and I don't know if they hadn't had a chance to clean it up yet, but people tell me it's usually pretty dirty in this part of the city. And of course, you're not allowed to urinate in the canals. The fact that they have to put a sign up there is kind of telling what kind of behavior goes on in this area. So if you can avoid it, I've really tried to avoid it. We tried to walk around it, but we couldn't. There's so many of these little streets and alleyways. Look, pee pads in there. It's just terribly gross. Now, this is pretty early in the morning. Again, they may not have had a chance to clean up from the night before, but who knows. You're not allowed to videotape sex workers. There's a 230 euro fine, so don't do that. You will get arrested. The public transportation is unbelievably great, as it is in most other parts of Europe. America's like hundreds of years behind them. And you can take a guided tour, which gives you the history of a lot of these buildings, including the Royal Palace, which is a pretty amazing building. This is the train station here. And inside you'll find restaurants, you'll find a shopping area, and probably the most accessible public restrooms. It's really hard to find a restroom in Amsterdam. It's really weird. Even if you're a customer, like, yeah, no restrooms. And they all know how to speak English, but they pretend they don't. And occasionally these are out. You can see some dude sweeping up in the ladies' room. It's kind of awkward. And this thing said it was okay, but it wasn't. And some of them were broken and whatever. For those of you Americans who want some familiarity, there are American restaurants. There's McDonald's, KFC, and all kinds of stuff. And be careful when you walk into these cafes, because cafes aren't really cafes. They are places where you can buy things that are illegal in many other areas. I won't mention the names of what this stuff is, but I think you can surmise what's going on here in just about any form possible. Cakes, candies, gummies, or just the kind of stuff you roll your own. Now, you're not allowed to smoke on the street or in public, but a lot of people were doing it anyway. And there's a strong smell of skunk out there, if you know what I mean. And there's this overpriced duck store where you can buy 15 euro ducks, which is nuts. And this has been seen in a lot of movies here. This is, I call it Pigeon Square, and there's all kinds of wildlife out here. You can get really close to the pigeons. And if you're lucky, Death may be standing out there, and he may point and call you to take a picture, because you never know when your number's up, right? We decided to be European and eat outside at this trendy little cafe just near Madame Tussauds. I don't even know what these people are doing here. Everyone's staring at us, but we're so European right now, aren't we? Yeah, welcome to Amsterdam. So if you have the opportunity to dine on a sidewalk cafe, watch out for rats. All right, the Adam Lookout, which is short for Amsterdam, but they call it a damn lookout. I know, it's funny. Now, a lot of people don't realize these ferries are free. It's really hard to get from one side of the Amstel River to the other, but they have all these free ferries, and there's no signage in English. I don't even think there's any signage in Dutch. that tells you that these ferries are free. But people can get on, bicycles get on. They even put scooters on here. People are riding them off, which I don't think you're supposed to do, but people do it anyway. Kind of no rules, but everybody gets along. They're kind of polite and cordial. Everybody waits for everybody to get off before the other set going to the other side gets on, and these things run continuously through the day, I think into the night. So this is the Lookout. It's a fairly new building. I don't know when it opened. And it's going to cost you, I don't know, about $20 a person to go up to the top. But definitely worth it for incredible, unbeatable views. Oh, and they give you a picture for free, too. You can take this for free and download it digitally. You go up this terrifying elevator ride with a light show in it. Close your eyes if you're epileptic or whatnot. But look at the views. There's an inside observation area, and I think the a little bit higher is outside. And it leads to this restaurant where you can make reservations and have lunch or dinner out here. It wasn't open when we went into it, but a little bit later in the day it is open. So this is the corner here, and there is a full service bar, which wasn't open until about noon. And the outside lookout is insane, and there's a lot of other stuff you can do in this building too. There's some VR stuff, and there's a swing that actually hangs over the edge of the building, which is ridiculous. Here's the VR stuff. This is all extra, it's not included. But this is nuts. If you've got balls of steel, you can swing over the side of this whatever story building. People are nuts. We weren't doing it. And again, incredible views of the city of Amsterdam. Is it worth it? Yeah, we won't go back, but it might be your thing.